Hi everyone, good morning, and welcome to our on-demand NAEA virtual presentation. My name is Dr. Marissa McClure-Sweeney. I'm Assistant Chair of the Department of Art and Design and Associate Professor of Art Education at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. I'll be sharing today's slides as the creator of Squad Art Studio, but I encourage you to reach out either to myself or to the other presenters if you would like any additional information or if you have any remaining questions. Our individual contact information will be on the last slide that I share. We are so excited to share our work with you, and we can't wait to hear your feedback. Our presentation is entitled Community-Based, Intergenerational, Technology-Driven Art for Children and Pre-Service Art Educators in Squad Art Studio. My co-presenters are Robert Sweeney, Professor of Art Education, Bethany Butler, an Art Education graduate student, Caitlin Carey, an art education undergraduate student who is a past NAEA student chapter co-president, and Tristan Croyle, an art education undergraduate student who is also past NAEA student chapter co-president. About Squad, we're actually in our third year of Squad, but this is some background. It's an alternative Saturday school program hosted in collaboration between our art educator preparation program, we're a regional public university and a more rural area, and a community-based art gallery. We provide pre-service art educators, young children and families with a rich aspirational model of the possibilities of negotiated curriculum and digital technologies as art media for young children. Squad experiences and Squad resources emphasize negotiated curriculum, process-based art and media exploration informed by the Reggio Emilia approach and the maker movement, family and child intergenerational co-education, and young children's use of digital technologies as art media. Background, the history of Squad. And there's a link here to our Facebook page, which will take you to our main hub. We use social media to both share and to document all of our experiences in Squad. And it's our primary way of reaching out into our regional community. So Squad came together as a coalition of three components. I'll share those with you. The first is the Scribble Squad, which is an online community of families, artists, and educators that I co-founded in 2017. So basically the idea behind this was I created a secret Facebook group where families with very young children could document their children's explorations with art. And I did this when my first son was about 14 months old. And since then I've had two more children. So I have three very young children right now who are members of the Scribble Squad. And as the Scribble Squad continued to grow and change, some of the members said, hey, would love to have an in-person version of the Scribble Squad where we could get together and share these explorations with one another and document them, and would also like to have resources that we could use with our children at home. And I thought that was a great idea. At the same time, we were exploring the idea of reintroducing a Saturday school into our art educator preparation program. It had been written into our curriculum, so it was on the books, so to speak, but it hadn't been offered in about a decade. And some of the reasons that it hadn't been offered were because there just weren't enough children to sustain a traditional Saturday school program where classes were offered every week. Also thinking about the site and where the classes would be held, the cost, how would we make it both accessible and sustainable. We also wanted the Saturday school to function as a site for research and teaching that was responding to pre-service art educators' interests. And then we had been actually offering classes, not regularly, but sporadically with the Artist Hand, which is a local gallery that represents over 60 regional artists. NAEA student chapter members have been teaching classes there since 2008, but the enrollment was not sustainable. So we decided to officially make this a partnership where we would offer our Saturday school at the Artist Hand on a regular schedule with regularly scheduled participants and teachers. And it's a great atmosphere. It's walkable. It's accessible for families with small children. There's a coffee shop. They can grab a coffee. There are comfy places to sit. All of those sorts of things made it the perfect site for hosting Squad. So Squad goals when we initiated the program were to provide pre-service educators with robust early field experiences directly supervised by art education faculty members and supported by research-based curricular assessment and outreach practices. To nurture and extend pedagogical relationships with local community-based partners in the regional art community. I really want to embed our students in that community, offering process-based intergenerational art educational experiences to local families and resources to extend these experiences within the home and community. We're really working on that aspect right now as we're implementing our distance education initiatives, establishing online resources to guide families in enriching at-home art education experiences, and providing inspiration to pre-service and in-service art educators, especially in the areas of intergenerational collaboration and new media, and piloting approaches to young children's use of digital technologies as new media art in collaboration with our university-based digital visual studies space, which houses ArtBot, our mobile makerspace. Our guiding beliefs really come from the early childhood art educators position paper. So I think that I'll read just a few and you'll get a sense of what is driving us philosophically. That's the idea that every child is innately curious and seeks to construct personal knowledge and understanding in the world of all its complexity. A child constructs knowledge and meaningful social contacts with peers and adults. A child experiences the world in a holistic way that is best served by an interdisciplinary approach. So all of these positions are incorporated into the curriculum and experiences that we design in Squad. Squad's influences, so the theoretical foundations of our curriculum include the Reggio Emilia approach, the main points of which our children are capable, as are educators and families, emphasis on intergenerational collaborative education, pedagogical documentation, which is what we use as our assessment approach in Squad, and negotiating curriculum, so finding that common ground between children's interests and the interests of our pre-service art educators. We're also looking to process-based art education with an emphasis on process and material identity, documentation as a key element of assessment and exhibition, materials exploration, so each Squad experience begins with a materials exploration, and the role of the responsive art educator, which is again taken from that early childhood art education position paper. The maker movement, looking at digital technologies, and I think this is really significant right now because we are in a moment where we're all using technology more than we were in the past. So looking at digital technologies as instructional technologies, not as instructional technologies, but as art media, integrating digital and traditional experiences and media explorations, and tinkering with digital tools. We now offer once or twice monthly, year-round, 2-hour process-based Saturday morning art classes for young children ages 6 months to 5 years, along with a family member and caregiver. Enrollment is generally 10 children per session. Experiences are held at the gallery in a space shared with local artists and residents. Local artist presence working towards Squad classes further enhances the community-based atmosphere and pre-service educators and families' sense of being a part of our local art community. Squad's negotiated process-based curriculum is organized around media explorations tied to the current gallery exhibitions. During the semesters, pre-service art educators enrolled in P6 programs in our community-based and museum art education course design the curriculum and teach. Art education faculty typically teach in the summers, and sometimes we have student volunteers who are in town for the summer help us too. So it's really a shared endeavor among everyone who is involved in our program. So in our first year of Squad, we served over 100 community children and 19 pre-service art educators. We had 13 events and 1 exhibition. So this is just some photo documentation from our first year, and you can see the types of experiences that we offered. So everything from the youngest children, exploration with babies, infants, and toddlers. We worked with painting, with photography, with a variety of media. You can see the gallery here where there are current exhibitions that we tie into the content that we create. So again, we worked with two-dimensional media, three-dimensional media, tinkering, exploration. We worked with a lot of technological media, but also environmentally responsive materials, eco-friendly and reused materials. So we really tried to model those approaches with our families and with our pre-service art educators. We also, you can see in this picture, involve children in documenting their own experiences in squad, and that provides part of our documentation record. Families make alongside their children. We also had some additional events. We partner with our local farmers market to offer events each year in their Children's Day experience. So this was a flower pounding event where the floral vendors saved the flowers that they deadheaded for the children to use to make prints. Again, we worked with digital technologies. We made Scribble bots, art bots. We have presence at other community events. We involve children in talking about art and using visual thinking strategies to approach discussing works of art in the gallery. So that's a component of Squad as well. These nature collages are also from the farmers market last year, sticky nature collage, using materials from the market as well. Our second year was this past academic year, and so I have a video link here that I'll return to, but the primary project that we worked on this year that was collaborative was called It's a Trap, where we created a skatable art exhibition in collaboration with two of our local and regional skate parks, one being the Mac Park Skate Park here in Indiana, the other being Switch and Signal Skate Park, which is in Swissvale, between here and Pittsburgh. And on our YouTube channel, we have the documentation video that was shown at the exhibition. So I'm going to show an excerpt from that video right now. You can see a little bit about how Squad unfolds and happens. There's the gallery. You can see some of what was happening. I'll give you an overview. The children were creating obstacles to be installed for a skate park, and then the obstacles were collaboratively built and skated. So I'll get to some of that documentation so you can see some of the pieces. the drawings of the pieces. Here we'll get to the point of them installed at this time.
Something that you can buy a skateboard in, which is a skate park. You see this part of the table here? This is like a miniature skateboard park. It's small. Do you think you could ride a skateboard on this? No, it's too small. So we're gonna pretend. Did you see?
So as they were installed at the skate park, families came and were able to use the obstacles.
You know what that is? Yeah, but it's like super small. This one's pretty big. This one's pretty small. So we're going to make a skateboard park pretty tiny, small. You can pretend it's on bicycle. That sound good? You can draw some first if you want to. You can draw in your sketchbook, or you can start to draw on an actual skateboard. This looks kind of boring and playing. Yeah. You can draw on the skateboard, or you can draw by your skateboard on the skateboard. I'm going to a little bit, and then we'll start to make some sound good? All right.
So then the works were reinstalled at Switch and Signal Skate Park, which is where this photo is from, and families were invited to come and skate their works at a skatable art exhibition. This is another overview of some of the things that we did in the second year of Squad. So this, we tried a Squad event at our building on campus. So this is actually in our art education classrooms, which we are in the process of converting to model classrooms so that we can show how classrooms can be set up for these types of process-based experiences with young children in our own location, and then also using the two galleries in our building, invite children to talk about the works in those galleries and respond to the works in those galleries with their families. Now, as we are entering our third year of Squad, we're thinking about envisioning the future and what we will do, especially as we consider being unable to offer face-to-face interactions this fall. So we were inspired by Caitlin, our NAEA chapter past co-president, to consider some type of distance education activity that we could offer. So our students are in the process right now of creating what we're calling squad pods. And squad pods are just what they sound like. There are, based on the idea of a seed pod, a squad pod is a kit that families will receive that includes all of the materials needed to facilitate a process-based experience, as well as video tutorials for how that experience can be shared with young children. So our students are creating their squad pods actually right now. The squad pods will be hosted on our YouTube channel and available through our social media. The idea of a squad pod is a play on words, where the pod is an object, a container that transports the art experience, but it also plants a seed of a relationship with art for children and their families. So we're really excited about envisioning the future. Obviously, there are constraints that we are facing, as many, if not all, art educators are, and that we hadn't anticipated with the COVID-19 public health situation. But we're thinking beyond that to the future and about what we can see that is positive coming out of those constraints. And we really think that the Squad Pod is a way for art educators, our pre-service art educators, to not only gain further experience working with digital technology, thinking about distance education, how they might encounter these forms of hybrid teaching in their future classrooms, but also making Squad experiences more accessible to different groups of children and families. So we're really sort of thinking beyond what is even happening currently to how Squad Pods might function in the future. So I have a video clip speaking with Caitlin a little bit about her experiences, and this is what our current Squad students are working on.
We good?
Hi everyone, welcome to our video for ARED 317 for this week, our 5th week of classes. I'm so excited that we have a special guest today who some of you may have met, Caitlin Carey, who is a senior in the art education program and also in her 3rd year as co-president of our National Art Education Association student chapter, which I strongly encourage you to become involved with in your time at IUP. Caitlin has very generously, after a long afternoon of teaching young children, volunteered to be with us this evening so that she can share a little bit about her creating digital content for a summer program for which she worked. And I invited Caitlin to do this because I wanted to provide some context and some inspiration for you as you prepare your project plans for our iteration of Squad this semester. So without further talking from me, I'm going to hand the mic, figuratively, to Caitlin, and she's going to share a little bit more about her experiences. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say, I'm not co-president this year. I did step down. We passed the torch. Yeah, I did work at a Family Place library this summer, and I've been there for 4 years now. And we usually do all these different programs for all ages. We have anyone as little as 5 months old all the way up to teenagers. So we really had to try to figure out a way to keep kids engaged because we have a very small facility at the library and we couldn't have them all in person for programming this summer. So something I came up with was to make up craft kits, and I made a Facebook group on the library page. It's called Crafty Kids. And I had people sign up and register for it, and I had parents call in, send us messages on Facebook to say, hey, my kid wants to do it, my 2 kids want to do it, how do I do it? And basically what I would do is I would make up a craft kit with everything that they needed for the craft, and then I would make a video tutorial and I'd post it on the Facebook page in the Crafty Kids group, and then also to our YouTube channel, so that there were 2 different platforms where they could find it. And then they could come into the library and pick up a kit, and then they could do the craft at home in their own time, just following the tutorial. And if they missed a step, if I went too fast, they could always just go back because it's a video, and they can control it, they can pause it, they can rewind, do whatever they need to do. And we had overwhelming success with it. Most every week we ran out of craft kits. So, it was just really well received by the community. So many people asked.
So again, Caitlin provided a lot of the inspiration for what we're doing with our Squad Pods this semester, this year, and likely going forward as we all navigate this new reality together. I really appreciate your taking the time to view our presentation. As I shared, we are all more than happy to answer questions that you might have. All of the presenters are developing content similar to what we just discussed in the ways in which they're interacting with students and creating these types of modules and media experiences. Some of our other future goals include expanding Squad to serve a larger population of children and families through their elementary years. We've been primarily focused on early childhood, but we'd like to expand, and the digital platforms might allow us to do that in a way that we hadn't originally envisioned. Cataloging the curriculum that we design in Squad to create a digital archive of rich process-based curriculum that can be used both as a model for incoming pre-service art educators and inspiration for in-service art educators. So we are actually developing that site right now. Broadening understandings of children's use of digital technologies as new media for pre-service art educators, in-service art educators, and family members through a multi-channel online presence and a research site for incoming master students in art education. And as I shared, we are in the process of developing that too. If you have any questions, you can find us at Squad Art Studio on Instagram, squadartstudio@gmail.com. Our individual email addresses are listed here as well, and we would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I hope that you are enjoying your virtual conference, and maybe we'll see you on our virtual squad channel at some point in the future. Have a wonderful rest of your year and your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.